Hi, this is Juventa with Visani Photography, and today I wanted to show you how I go about editing my Grand Canyon pictures in Adobe Lightroom Classic. So this is my after picture, and I'm going to start from the beginning and show you how I got to this after. So when I first took this landscape picture, this is what it looked like. And the first thing that I did is I noticed that if you look on the histogram in the upper right hand corner, I noticed that some of the highlights were blown out. So when you click on this little triangle on the right hand corner, you can see where they're blown out. And so the first thing I did is I added a brush stroke. The brush, it looks like a paintbrush, is located right here. And so what I did is I painted on the area that you see red, and I painted it with a negative 0.29 exposure. It took a lot of the highlights out, but as you can see, there are still some highlights here that need to be taken down. So the next thing that I did is I added a graduated filter, and that's located right here on the menu. It's a little rectangle. And so the area I did was this, and you just pull it down and it shows that area. And for this graduated filter, I took an additional negative 0.29, and then I increased it to negative 0.96, as you can see over here. And that kind of helped the sky, the clouds to pop, and it helped give a darker color. After doing the graduated filter, the next thing I did is Adobe Lightroom has presets. So if you look up here on the left, there's a whole bunch of presets included with Lightroom. With landscapes, I often like to use the punch preset. And so I used the punch preset to kind of give it a little more clarity and to help the colors be brought out. Now I want you to notice something. If you zoom in, you can kind of see how it's grainy in this picture. It has a little bit of grain, and so I decided to do some luminance smoothing, and that's located down here on the right hand side. If you scroll down, there's the luminance, and so I took it up to 17 at this point. After I did that, I wanted to add a little bit of clarity, and it's kind of hard to tell, but I can notice a difference when I zoom in. I notice the clarity, if you can see. And so what I did is I took a brush, and down here I painted this whole area with 41 clarity. After I did that, I wanted to crop my picture. And so what I did is there's a little crop feature here. And when you click on it, you can see how far I cropped. The rule of thirds, one thing that's a common mistake when taking pictures like the Grand Canyon is you'll have half of it sky, half of it canyon. And you really want to reduce that so that it's a third sky and then 2/3 canyon, unless the sky is your focus, and then you would do it the reverse. The next thing I did was I added a little bit more clarity to the overall picture from 0.50 to 0.81. After that, I thought it was too blue, and while the blue's pretty, I wanted it to look more like what I saw. And so I actually took the white balance, which is over here, and I made it auto. After doing that, I noticed that it was still a little grainier than I particularly like, and so you can kind of see here. And so I just added a little bit more to the luminance smoothing to kind of take out some of that grain. And it's just a minor difference, but I can notice a difference. So I took the luminance up to 41. The next thing I did is just ever so slightly I had to change the angle on the crop, and I did that because I wanted the skyline to be perfectly level, and it was a little crooked to me. And if you go to the corner where it shows kind of a curve, then you can adjust the angle. After that, I wanted to see a little bit more blue in the sky, and so I focused just on the saturation of the sky, and it's just a tiny bit more blue. And so you do that on the right hand side if you scroll down, and you see, here it is, you see this coloring right here, and I clicked on the blue and I just brought it up 0.6 to bring a little bit more blue out in the picture. The next thing I did, if you notice on the upper left hand side of the histogram, this little arrow is blue, And what that means, it means there's a little bit of too much black in the picture. And so I did what's called black clipping, and it's hardly noticeable, but you can shift it here, and I brought it up 3, and that took that away. So now the histogram looks nice. The last thing I did, I wanted a little bit more contrast in the picture, and so I took the contrast from 25 and I brought it up to 43. So as you can see, this is my after of the Grand Canyon, and I'll show you the before. Okay, ready? Here's my before, and here's my after. And that's how I edited my Grand Canyon pictures. I hope you have a great day, and thanks for listening. If you want to see more of my pictures, please visit www.vazaniphotography.com.